drove 40 minutes one way to go to the traditional Latin Mass, right? And it was good for me. I would say if you find yourself in the midst of the average parish, and you're leaving Mass mad, I would recommend for your sanity that you find a traditional Latin Mass. If you are basically going to the ordinary form of the Mass, and that's what you know, and you've never been to the traditional Latin Mass, like I highly recommend that you find the local fraternity parish and go more than once. Go until you can pray, right? Because we have at least a millennium of tradition that when you're reading the saints and the mystics and the doctors, this is what actually formed them, right? And how can you understand them, or even to my mind, the attempt to understand Sacrosanctum Concilium, which is the Second Vatican Council document on the reform of the liturgy, or even some of the choices that the Concilium made in the reform of the liturgy. Before you can judge that, if you have no knowledge of what was before, how can you make discernment, right?
Yeah.
I know it's contentious today. I'm more of a fan of Benedict XVI's idea of like mutual enrichment. Anyone attached to the TLM won't like what I'm going to say next, but there are some things in the Novus Ordo that I very much do like.
Yeah.
There's some things though in the TLM, when I was first learning to celebrate it, I just remember thinking to myself, why in the world would this be changed? I didn't get it. I still, in large extent, don't get it. I love the fact that before I turn from the altar, which symbolizes Christ, to address his people, I kiss Christ. And then I turn to the people and say, the Lord be with you. There's a fundamental beauty in that, right? When you enter into the Eucharistic prayer, you say that first prayer, Te Igitur, and having called him Father, I kiss the altar as I'm entering into that prayer. There's moments like that at least part of what the reformers were trying to do in their idea of a simplification. I mean, it says noble simplicity, but I think in some respects, we so oversimplified that we got a kind of barrenness.
Wow, wasn't that great? If you enjoyed that clip and you want to help support me in making more just like it, then check out the link in the description and support me on Buy Me a Coffee.